This is how it is today on Pop Culture Minefield. This is how it is today. This is how it is today on Pop Culture Minefield.
You know what I'd really like one day is to have like somebody from like every branch on the show. That'd be kind of fun. We
All
have
six?
we have no representation for the Air Force, but then again, what do they really represent? And we have zero Navy. We had a Marine. I don't know what's going on with him. I thought he was off today, so I thought we'd see him. I called him, left him a friendly Marine Corps wake up. And
Coast Guard?
you know, I really would like to have somebody because I've known quite a few guys in the Coast Guard. And I
I
gotta
would
tell
love
you,
to talk to him, man. You know, see.
I have
see what
one
it's like.
buddy out when I was out in California, Joe.
Mhm.
He had probably seen more fucking combat action under what they do, which is more
Yes.
like police procedural stuff.
Yes.
He had seen more close quarter combat than most of my combat buddies. And I mean, his was like in boats.
Yeah.
Like sometimes they dealt with it from their boat to boat. But he said sometimes we had to fucking go in.
Boredom.
And
Yeah.
it got hairy.
Mhm.
It got hairy. And
Imagine.
so that always impressed me.
People always forget about
That
the
is
Coast Guard,
really
man.
CQB.
They are the first line of defense, man. It's
And then we all, of course, don't forget all those brave men and women serving in Civil Air Patrol.
Don't forget Space Force now. We got a new one. Space Force.
Oh my God, Space Force. No, I'm never never gonna want anybody from Space Force on.
Come on,
I
bro.
love that. There's this one veteran. I think he's Army Special Forces. He has a popular channel, and he's very excitable. That guy is ADHD, and I love it when he pokes fun at all the different branches, how they react to things, and like the fucking Space Force always has tinfoil on their heads, and the Navy's always like he's firing an M4, and he goes, "This thing have a safety?" He's holding it all limp wristed. Does this have a safety? Got his hair done up in curls. It's fucking funny. Marine Corps and Army is like always like, I don't know. They're always top of his thing when it comes to how they handle things, but he always pokes fun at both of them. He's never like just picking on the Marines or something. But the Marines like are hua, always in his fucking or ura in Marine Corps, hua in the U.S. Army. So, yeah, let's get a little bit into this. Slasher Fred started it already. Before we do, though, I want to say hi to everybody this morning. So I want to say good morning to Gambit, Snorty, Emmanuel, Meth, and 11 Alpha. So we have one of our dear French friends here, the good ones. And I got to be honest, having been over there, I do like the French in the countryside. I was all over France, and everybody I met there was so nice. My bad experiences in France was in Paris, and Parisians are fucking cunts for the most part. I'm not going to say every single one of them because I'm sure there's a handful of nice people in Paris, but they're so pretentious and so fucking rude. It was ridiculous. But I called him. I was kind of hoping he'd be here, but I don't know. Maybe he tied one on a little too thick last night, knowing him. Because this is how I made fun one day. I said, I know you. You're the kind of person that uses fucking moonshine chaser.
Yeah.
Hey, what are you mixing in that moonshine? it's already almost 100 proof. Like, it's not enough for you. You want your face to burn off? Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I love Stack in this movie, and it's reminiscent of Airplane, his character in this.
Yeah, well, he's the guy that makes the most sense out of all of them, right? Everybody's going batshit crazy. He just wants to
Yeah.
watch a movie.
Yeah.
You know?
He
I
wants
want-
to see Dumbo.
Yeah.
I want you to think about this. There are no bombs. It is no raid.
Yeah. How can it be an air raid without bombs? Yeah. That's too funny, man. I don't know. This movie came off to me like it was Spielberg, Slasher Fred was talking about what he was trying to do with this. Well, first of all, the cast in this is most of the supporting cast in Jaws, and most the headliners from National Lampoon's Animal House. I think they were trying to cash in on the success of those two movies.
Well, you had a lot of Second City people in this one,
right? Yeah,
because at the time,
John
Spielberg didn't really know.
I can't remember the
did
guy's
not know
name.
Dan Aykroyd. Spielberg didn't know Aykroyd at this point.
Yeah,
and he got brought in because he wanted John Candy, and John Candy's like, "Hey, I got a couple of buddies I work with. Maybe you'd like to have them on."
Yeah.
And
well,
so
I mean,
he
you've
had a
got
lot of
Belushi and what's the guy's name from Animal House that's trying to get the chick with the planes? Matheson. This is his last name, I think.
Tim Matheson.
Tim Matheson, who I freaking love. I love the guy.
Look,
I think he's very
I'm
underrated.
tell you something. He's played two famous characters as a child, Johnny Quest, and is it Jace from Space Ghost?
Really?
Yeah, he was the other character with Space Ghost. It was the boy, the chimpanzee, and the boy's sister that traveled around with Space Ghost. Do people watch NCIS in Israel and have any opinions on how Mossad is portrayed? Are you talking about the new NCIS? The one with David and whatever. Fuck.
Oh, that's
you're
talking about that spinoff, right? No,
yeah, I'm out.
NCIS was I mean that character on the regular show. Yeah, it would be interesting to see what Mephisto thought of that, or somebody that knew something about that part of the world, how she's portrayed, because they make it look like, she was involved in a lot of stuff.
I hear that Israel is a lot like Hong Kong back in the 60s, and referred to NCIS the same way the Chinese referred to the Green Hornet as the Kato show. Over there, it's the Davi show.
Right, the Davi show. It looks like Mephisto could care less. He's never even watched it.
Or Ziva. Yeah, Ziva.
Yep. Ziva David. Yeah.
So there you go. Let's see.
But yeah,
it's just all these questions.
This movie's just it's a slapstick comedy. It's a throwback to the old like Around the World in 80 days and shit like that. You know what I mean? It's a throwback to one of those road pictures and kind of things, but it's on the backdrop of the lunacy of what happened after December 7th of 1941. People on the West Coast were scared. Yeah.
Let's just get this out there. Okay, this movie is actually about an incident that happened in 42. It was called the Battle of L.A. And in fact, that's why this movie looks from some shots like that incident. That's because that's the movie he started out to make, was something about that incident. And it is still in there in the mix, but it became more and more comedy. And it's very little story. Like, there's so little. It's sort of like if you made broth and you water it down enough, at some point it just tastes like flavored water. That's what 1941 is. And if you go into it like expecting any kind of story, I'm not going to say any names.
Yeah, my bad
You're
for
gonna be
expecting a
sad.
fucking 2-hour movie to have a story. This is just scenes that are not funny and just stupid.
It's like Homer Simpson described when everybody was trying on The Simpsons to figure out the moral of the story. Well, maybe the lesson we're supposed to learn, and Marge's like, yeah, the lesson I think we should learn. And finally, Homer goes, what are you guys talking about? It's just a bunch of stuff that happened.
Yeah.
That's this movie.
Yeah.
And,
Spielberg likes those big chase scenes and out of control shit. The Zoot Suit riot in it between the military and the dancers is great.
He's capturing stuff that happened mostly in 1942.
Yeah.
The Battle of LA, 1942. You have the bombing of Tokyo, or was it Tokyo? Was it Kyoto? Doolittle's raid,
Right.
because Doolittle hadn't touched him yet. That was April of 42. And we hadn't had the Battle of Midway yet, which was was June of 42. So you had a bunch of shit going on, and that's mentioned within the movie that this fight showed them. We actually had our first contact with Japan, and we survived. You pretty much decimated that fucking city in this movie, which didn't happen.
No.
Never, none of the shit in this movie ever happened the way it shows it happening. But when we had the incident, the Battle of LA, which is really what this movie is about, there was chaos. And what I would have gone with was that, which originally clearly is what the premise was, that the shit going on in the air that they show in the famous photograph of Battle of LA was supposed to be Tim Matheson and Nancy Allen.
Yeah.
In that plane. That was the UFO that night. But it completely got written out of the film, that the association of that. But it's funny. I do chuckle at a lot of the stuff happening in this film. I really love watching John Candy in this movie.
Yeah, that's good.
Dan Aykroyd and him, and Treat Williams was so out of place. This was like his second major role that he ever got.
Treat Williams, he's the guy with the anger problem, right? And he's trying to beat up everybody.
And wait a minute, I'm going to tell you right now. Go ahead.
I don't qualify him as a guy with an anger problem. The guy is a rapist.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's all he's Bluto. Okay, there is a huge nod to cartoons in this film because it has cartoon violence.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right. And the nod to Treat Williams is that he's a nod to Bluto. And a lot of cartoons.
Bluto is just running after Olive. What this guy's doing in this movie.
Well, hold on, because there's another rapist in this movie. Okay. And it happens to have no penis. That is what's her name's best friend.
Yeah,
who, by the way,
trying to get him. Yeah,
I had such a crush on her back in those days. She was on a little show called Bosom Buddies, and she was on other shows too. But man, I had a thing for that Italian girl. She was so beautiful to me. Yes, she was portly, but I thought she was funny. She had a beautiful face, and she could dance, and that really got my attention. That chick was very gymnastic. And I'm trying to remember her name, man. She was so fucking cool. And so she is also a rapist.
Yeah.
She's got to get her man. And she is based on another cartoon character where she's constantly trying to kiss this guy in the cartoon. And there it is. Ned Beatty was in Superman in 78. He was trying to shed his seriously, he was getting frustrated with the whole Deliverance thing because everybody would see him go, squeal. Hey boy, you got a pretty mouth, He was getting sick of that shit, and he said it before in interviews that was very frustrating. He says that film was there; it's a great movie, but man, it caused me nothing but grief. And absolutely, she's man hungry, and he is girl crazy, and so he found a way to push those two together in the movie. And Bobby DeCicco, man, I always liked that guy. And he did at least one of his main stunts when he climbs up on that table and flips off as he pulls the tablecloth out. That's Bobby doing that backflip and landing on his. He landed that. Like, he really landed that. I'm like, holy shit, that kid's got moves. That's her right there. Thank you. Wendy Jo Sperter. She is such a pretty girl. She's so funny. Yeah, Wendy Jo Sperter, and she died 2005. And yeah, what a man. As I recall with her, it was breast cancer. Yes, breast cancer. Because I brought this up to you before, Anima, about her.
Yeah.
Once again, F cancer.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, 2005, man. She was not. Yeah. Totally agree with you. I love this painting. It's as chaotic as the movie. The movie is pure chaos, and which was perfect for me as a kid because I would eat that shit up, and I did. I love this movie in the theater. There's only one thing in this. Yeah. There's only one thing in this movie I despise, and I despise with a passion, is Eddie Deason.
Why?
I fucking hate that guy. I've always hated him.
Because he's a retard. He's not funny.
Well,
yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
He's always like that in all his movies. But
that's the problem. Why is he in movies? This is not fun. This is just retarded shit.
Look, half the reason why people get cast in things is because of the way they look. They wanted the goofy son of a gun, and there you go. You look up goofy in the dictionary, and you get that guy's picture. I mean, yeah. But the whole puppet thing and all that, yeah.
Well, the puppet thing never made sense to me.
Yeah.
And,
nothing makes sense to this.
Yeah. The only, it's funny, I said there was a bunch of people from Jaws in it, that the mayor of the town of Amityville is the guy that have to sit up there with him. And
Murray Hamilton.
Yes, sir. I heard you. Sorry.
Oh, I didn't know.
Shut up now.
I never know if people hear me.
So
yeah, Murray Hamilton's in it, and you've got Mrs. Brody in the film too, playing Ned Beatty's wife.
We have a bridge from Wade, so here you go, Wade.
Check around and see if there's a back door.
And I forgot to play the thing. The thing. Can you please take this out? Okay. The hit of this year.
Absolutely. So here we go. I'm getting ready to show you guys something. So I made this joke yesterday, and I want to make sure that I wrote it down and shared it in the group just so I would remember it. So the number one thing I despised about 1941 is this motherfucker, Eddie Deason, who, in my personal opinion, looks like Liev Schreiber's retarded son.
And after I saw that post, I cannot unsee it.
I hope everybody in the audience got to see that. I'll do it one more time.
God
Eddie
damn it,
Deason is Liev Schreiber's retarded son. Liev looks normal, good-looking dude, and then he made this.
Read what 11 Alpha says.
Oh. Grease?
Put it up. This was Eddie Deason's first role. Yeah. Pretty much sealed the nerd characterization. Yeah, I fucking hated that guy. And,
what is an insult to nerds? That dude is not a nerd.
Problem.
He's a retard.
People think that nerds are Krellborns you know, and that came from Little Shop of Horrors because the main character's last name is Krellborn. And then you've got geeks and nerds, and they all thought they're spazzes, which is what Eddie Deason really was when we were young. We referred to those guys as spazzes. The nerds I grew up with, we were tough. Like, we fought bullies. We didn't back down to them. We fought them. And often won those fights. But I tell you what, if we didn't win the fight, still got respect from those fucking guys. They didn't fuck around with us anymore. They're like going, yeah, it took me a few weeks to heal from what you did to my face and my nuts. It's not like we gave them hand jobs that were just mean. I mean, we kicked the shit out of them.
God damn it.
It's what we do. All right. I think that we need to bring up, this is why we got claimed. I think we need to bring up, we're going to probably get claimed on this again, because I think maybe the logo is not blocking enough. So I'm going to shrink this fucking down, because we got claimed for the Saturday show, and I don't know what I'm going to do other than have to blur that fucking screen.
So weird though, because we've been doing this for years now with the slideshow. And that movie is
I know, but
15 years.
I think the logo is the problem, that it's not blocking enough, which I know we hate. I know that.
It's the same logo that we have used for any other show. So
well, it seems to be more obtrusive in some of the older ones. I think that it's not as clear as it was in the past, the opacity. So, switching now to this. There we go. Because I'm getting sick of YouTube fucking around with us. And now they found a video to fucking block. See how you can see everything more clearly right now? That's a problem for us. In fact, I wish they would let us rotate the screen, but there's no rotating feature. You can only stretch or increase size.
I've heard about people tilting it slightly when they make a slideshow.
That's Joe.
Oh, was it Joe?
Yeah.
That's something we can try.
Okay, Tim, if you're here, what the fuck did you just send me? Catholic boys in heavy leather? What the fuck?
Get off the socials, Gary, please.
Well, I have to test the internet today. They boosted it. The year before this movie, the movie Attack on the Killer Tomatoes was also a war parody film. And I like that movie. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. I want to compliment Christopher Lee, who is fluent in multiple languages.
Yeah, he's impressive.
German character is really fun in this movie, but it always aggravated me that we never found out what happened to him.
Oh, he got caught in the screws of the submarine.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love all the music in this movie. In the Mood.
So
they parodied the opening of Jaws perfectly. Yep, absolutely. That was really cool. And of course, John Williams scored the film. So him and Spielberg, the director of Jaws, there's probably little problem getting the rights to that. And it was kind of fun the way they did it. Really good. I love when the little Japanese guy, last one on the deck, about to go down, stops.
Yeah.
And you're looking up at his face as he's looking down. Right. And he looks up and he sees that beautiful naked ass. He's like, Hollywood! He loses his mind. Almost floods the fucking bridge. Like so fucking.
He's never seen naked ass before in his life.
Never naked white ass. Hollywood. John Williams evokes
pretty much the same.
Max Steiner, Alfred Newman, Dmitry Tiomkin and Eric Wolfgang Korngold all rolled into one. Well, you just described John Williams. Don't forget to throw in that little German one.
Wagner.
Yeah, he pulls off Wagner pretty well too.
Yes, he does. Now, you can hear in this soundtrack the origins for Empire Strikes Back and in Indiana Jones.
You can also hear a hint of a theme that's almost reminiscent of Patton and Stripes. John Williams' background, the way he does that military march in it, it's very reminiscent of those two. Even though they're not his, it doesn't matter. It was good military stuff, and everybody borrows from each other. Now, Bobby's big problem here, he's fucking wearing a Pearl Harbor shirt. And it's like, you're asking to get your ass handed to you. He's an idiot. He really is. But he's an idiot who is in love with the girl. And he is technically the protagonist of this movie.
Yeah.
Technically. But this is not written correctly to have a true protagonist. The true protagonist in this film is Bobby, and the true antagonist of this film is Treat Williams. But this movie is so all over the fucking place. And some people were like, there's almost like an anti-military sentiment in this film because all the military people are fucking caricatures. Buffoonery is afoot. I mean, this guy's a fucking nutball. But I do love that one of the crazy characters in the film spots that man is insane. When General Stilwell, is it Stilwell or Still? It's Stilwell, right?
Stilwell.
Yeah. Points out that man is insane.
And he said, the most insane man. Dude, how about the colonel that you put in charge of that detachment?
Oh my God. Warren Oates has one of those great bit parts in this film. And Warren Oates, man, that guy chews scenery, and I mean this in a good way, not the negative way it normally. The negative connotation of chewing scenery means you're an overactor, but not Warren Oates. That guy was amazing in this movie. He has one of the best characters in the film. But the best line delivered in this film was brought up earlier, I think by Joe, or was it by you, Martin? It said, "It's not an air raid if there are no bombs. You have to have bombs in an air raid." And I started laughing like, what a great line. And nobody's listening to him. And who the fuck mistakes a fucking P-40 Warhawk for a fucking Mitsubishi Zero? Like, you got to be fucking blind to make that mistake. But Eddie Deason is a fucking idiot, and probably is in real life too. He ruined one of my favorite episodes with Magnum. He was in Magnum PI for an episode.
Yeah. I don't know who he screwed to get that role.
All right, here's another one that I fucking get annoyed by. Now, I know there were rules that allowed guys to walk around with that headgear on the tarmac, but they were limited to specific roles. Nothing that this guy's doing. Where's his fucking headgear? They had military advisors. This is before my boss, Dale, died. But still, come on, man. Walking around on the tarmac. And by the way, he's Army. He's not Army Air Corps. He's regular Army. And so what the fuck is he walking around that tarmac without a fucking headgear on? Oh, yeah. Let me go find him.
Okay. For the record, Anima is not the only one who did not like this movie. I didn't like this movie at all. The difference here is I am not as offended by it as Anima is. I was annoyed
Dude,
and bored.
I had to waste 2 hours of date night on this shit. So yeah, I'm offended.
Yeah, but I deserved that after all the patience I had to have that night.
Dude.
I don't know. I don't want to know.
No, we were just fighting with that software to fix my background noise problem. But that app is so retarded that it took us an hour to figure it out.
God damn. Yes.
What?
Yes, Robert Stack was a good choice.
Yep, that's the real Stillwell. And that is not Robert Stack. That's the real guy. Yeah, you can see way too much right now. Somehow the opacity on the logo got changed or something.
No, it's the same.
I'm telling you, it's not.
I make the slideshow.
I can see the fucking background behind it more than I can see the logo. It somehow has changed. I don't know how, but that's changed. Normally, you're like straining to figure out what's behind those letters. Not right now, man. I'm almost tempted to take this down. It's so clear.
I didn't
Slasher
see
Fred. Robert Stack would later host the classic reality series Unsolved Mysteries. What's that about? Is it a real show?
I don't know it.
I'm being sarcastic. Like, yeah. And he would do the show all the way up to the 2000s, and then they brought in another actor, former Chicago cop, famous for movies like Get Shorty, Chicago Story. He plays in Get Shorty. He plays one of the capos down in Florida, and he's pissed off at Chili Palmer, played by Travolta, because Travolta doesn't answer to him, and he keeps trying to fuck with Chili Palmer, played by Travolta, and Travolta keeps getting over on him. And that is, of course, Dennis Farina. Died in 2013. Unsolved Mysteries should have a reputation for killing its hosts. How about that? I mean, he does look like Stillwell. Stillwell looked like an old man when he was young. So no, I'm pretty good with it. He really did look like him. Yeah, Alpha, good dude. I fucking love Farina. I watched his TV show way back, Chicago Stories. A good show. When it would tell all kind of trivia about who killed who. By the way, I've come to the conclusion this week that Mr. Ballin is today's Paul Harvey. Now you know the rest of the story. It was horrifying, but now you know. Because he also does really good shows where he talks about somebody, tells the story of how they, like last night he did the story about this guy named Will from the Midwest, was in college in St. Louis and decided to quit school and go to Hollywood and try to make it as an actor. And he was failing, doing terrible. And he worked 2 jobs and would do auditions the rest of the time. The flap scene, I like this scene. It's kind of outrageous. This is an outrageous comedy. But anyway, Will was Brad Pitt by the end of the story, which I already knew his story. So I'm like going, oh, it's Brad Pitt. Yeah, losing him sucked. Law and Order.
Dude,
Yeah.
we have Glenn Fleming.
Hey, Glenn. Happy New Year, my friend. Good to see you, Glenn. Yeah, I tend to not talk about limeys unless you show up, and then I can talk about them. You're Andy. I can make fun of our cousins across the ocean. Looks like Joaquin Maya 115 PM is here too, as well as Wade. Dan Aykroyd was in Tales from the Crypt episode Yellow, which is an homage to the 57 Kubrick movie. Yeah, I remember that one. Which, of course, Tales from the Crypt was a lot of fun, man. It was one of my favorite shows for a while. Again, one of those shows where the music by Danny Elfman worked. The other thing you'll notice on this is it has that same kind of soft lens that was used in another Spielberg movie where he softened the lens a bit. And I don't know how he did it because it's not Vaseline in this. By the way, that's the other thing they bring up. Again, this is something that happened later, was the Zoot Suit riot. And it was a real thing. And it happened over a period of like 5 days in Los Angeles, Beverly Hills, Hollywood area. Just fucking huge riots between the military and the jazz dancers, the Zoot Suit guys. And Bobby DeCicco is wearing a Zoot suit, one of the versions of the Zoot suit, which I always thought were snappy, man. They definitely give you the period. A good example of a Zoot suit. Remember the wolf whose face grows long and his tongue rolls out in the cartoon? He's wearing a Zoot suit. Oh, I love this. This is actually funny. It's more slapstick. The girls fall down that trap for the Japanese. This movie absolutely skirts racism because one of my favorite gags in this movie was really between Dan Aykroyd, John Candy, and oh my god, I just forgot his name. He's in so many fucking movies. Frank McRae, was the cop, the captain of Schwarzenegger in Last Action Hero. He's also the maintenance guy in the movie with Batteries Not Included. Great fucking actor. But I think the stars of this movie are the gang that's standing there. They're the real stars of this movie. They're not the main protagonists, but they're the stars of this film. They're also, in my opinion, the best part. The way Dan Aykroyd rattles off how things work cracks me up. He's doing a little bit of Jack Webb as Detective Joe Friday on Dragnet, which he would go on to play in the theatrical film Dragnet with Tom Hanks and Harry Dean Morgan. Harry Morgan, not Harry Dean. Thinking Harry Dean Stanton and Harry Morgan. I don't know too much about the gunner. He's a fucking tank commander. I love the song Zoot Suit Riot by Cherry Poppin' Daddies. That was a fucking good band. Anybody remember that?
Nope.
Well, Joe remembers it. It's a film, man.
Why is Joe in the chat and muted on the panel?
By doing something. Oh, man. Him trying to hide up in the garage attic. Yeah, he told him to change the shirt. He says, oh, Joe's gone.
Yes,
Gotta go.
gotta
Okay,
go.
buddy. See you. Told you.
No, it's the time where he
what?
He has to take his mom.
Yeah, I know.
But he's been muted all the time, and I thought he loves this movie.
He was dealing with something. He's dealing with something. Let's throw all of our attention on Joe. It's like, no, he's just dealing with something.
Mambo number 5 is really, really, really older than the 90s. The 90s was a abomination what they did to that song.
What song?
Mambo number 5.
Oh,
I agree.
look, God, it was so annoying, actually, to tell you the truth. I was not a fan.
Yeah, the song was annoying. The guy singing it was annoying. And the fact that they destroyed a really good
Lou Bega
song. Yeah. I hate him.
He's a very rudimentary singer.
He's not good at all.
Thunder Hammerschlag. Yes. I hate eggs.
And now I'm going to give you guys a link right now to the song that was brought up. Zoot.
Man, what they're doing in this kitchen.
Riot. Yeah, nobody fucking does that. But everything was over the top with this movie. And I love Slim Pickens in this way. The guy that owns Hollis Woods Christmas trees. They go, Hollywood. It's like, no, wrong.
Dude, I think the character I liked the most was this one. He trolled that crew.
Yeah, of course. You're talking about Toshiro Mifune.
No. I'm talking about the American guy. Hollywood. How he trolled them.
He eats the fucking compass that came out of and they couldn't get the rights to Cracker Jacks, so they clearly did a Cracker Jacks box and the prize inside, but it was called crack or caramel pops or something like that. It was something goofy. All right, here we go, guys. This, of course, is the song Zoot Suit Riot by Cherry Poppin' Daddies. I mean, you don't get a more fucking vulgar name in a band than Cherry Poppin' Daddies.
Well, the Smelly Pubes is very cool.
It's right there, but we weren't known. Zoot Suit Riot by Cherry Poppin' Daddies right there for private chat and public chat.
There you go. And Gambit, no, I think Toshiro, he didn't speak any English.
He never learned English. He does phonetically. He learned some of his lines phonetically, and he says at the end of this movie something in English, and which is funny. But Toshiro Mifune just was not interested in becoming a movie star here. He was happy with what he had in Japan, and he was Hollywood's Spencer Tracy, Gary Cooper, and John Wayne all rolled into one. Yeah, Slim Pickens, whose nickname became his name. His nickname was Slim. He was a rodeo guy, big time rodeo. Another guy that came up as cowboys was I just forgot his name. War Notes did some cowboying, but he was not a cowboy. It's John Wayne's buddy. Was he in Red River? Let me look real quick because man, this guy came up in the 1950s, famous Western movie star, good friends with John Wayne. And as you learn over time, he was a real fucking rodeo star. Dude knew fucking horses, man. He lived that life. No, it wasn't that one. Maybe it was in the Alamo. I know he did a handful of films with Wayne, and they were very chummy in real life. Now, there's another guy that did it too. Chill Wills was another guy that did some real cowboy work. I don't see him. You can't remember the guy's name.
Me neither. Remember, we didn't have the same movie diet.
Movie diet, I like that.
Oh yeah, that's Joe Flaherty. One of my favorite race gags in this is when he hits John Candy hits what's his name in the face. I just forgot his name. Just said it a little bit ago.
Yeah, McRae
with the baby powder, and then tries to look through part of the viewer and gets hit in the face with the black soot from the engine. And so he's black-faced, and McRae is covered in powder. So John Candy's laughing at him. You're white now. And the other guy says, look at you. And he rubs some off his face and shows him. He goes, no.
and I
Get to the back of the tank.
Yes. Oh my God, that was
So they had the black guy deliver that line. It was great. Because the military was not desegregated. It was desegregated before World War I. And then Woodrow Wilson resegregated the military because he was a raging racist. Big time. Hated black people. Hated anybody that wasn't white. Woodrow Wilson. And he resegregated the military. And again, I want to point out Teddy Roosevelt, America's dad, fucking put Japanese people in internment camps and did nothing to or desegregate the military. That was up to Truman. And Truman had to wait till the end of the war because he was dealing with the war. I don't think much of Roosevelt. Teddy, I love. I don't have much love for Franklin Delano. He made the Depression last longer, pulling his shit, creating government jobs. What other president did that a few years ago? Who was that?
Move along. Move along. Nothing to see here. We still have that video, right?
I don't know. What are you talking about?
Oh my God. Naked Gun. When the fireworks factory is on flames and the and saying to all people, move along. There's nothing to see here.
I don't know if I know what you're talking about.
Nah, okay.
Is this a movie?
The Naked Gun. Yes, the movie.
Sounds like something from the 50s. Is it a drama? A murder mystery?
Gary, I'm gonna need your address. I have a box of Fox U to send to you.
What?
Please disperse. Nothing to see here, please.
Was that the one you're talking about?
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I never heard of it. Also, Teddy Roosevelt and his Rough Riders credit for the accomplishment of one of those. Oh no, it's worse than that. Alpha. I know this one from history. Is that the thing he yelled was at that black regiment because they didn't want to get up and charge with him. So he came back down and threatened to shoot them. And every movie about that or story leaves that out.
That is fucked up.
He also didn't support or defend the black unit in the South that got in hot water because some white girl decided to sleep with a black man and then called it the grape word. And
the freak.
Yeah, true story. And Teddy Roosevelt did nothing to help them. And that's a fact.
That's fucked up.
And even though I can't find anything about this, my buddy Shane Moore, he's a American Indian activist, friend of mine, told me that Teddy Roosevelt hated American Indians. And I'm like, I don't know where I've ever seen that. I've bought his books that he wrote. So I don't know an incident. And he tried to tell me, he showed me some stuff, and I'm like, okay, look, I'm not saying this didn't happen. I've never heard of this thing that you're saying he said, ever. It's like, I know he was bigoted, but his bigoted was a different kind. He wasn't somebody who was out and open about it. You just had to see some of his decision making. And then you go, oh yeah, oh my. Oh yeah, I love that movie. I showed that clip to Anima where Gene Kelly, because Gene Kelly was a very masculine dancer, very gymnastic, athletic, and he tried to get away from that fancy dancing, the dandy dancing that Fred Astaire was famous for. And he went for a more athletic, masculine style of dancing. And I loved that animation where they had Jerry, the mouse, dance with him. And it's still one of my favorite scenes of all time.
You showed me that?
Oh, yeah, where Jerry the mouse is dancing with Gene Kelly. Absolutely did. Because I was explaining to you who Gene Kelly was. Yeah, we were having a night and I was trying to talk about Gene Kelly, and you don't know who the fuck I'm talking about. So I went through a whole history lesson who, Gene Kelly was. And one of sadly, one of the best jobs he ever did, tanked, was as director and dance coordinator. And he actually dances in the movie, is Xanadu. That was the death of the musical for quite a while, that movie. They're like, all musicals are bad. It's like, no, this one just tanked. Not all musicals are bad. Just, that's Hollywood. If a movie tanks and it was expensive, then they end that genre. That's Hollywood. That's how they think.
Stupid.
No shit. Now I'm going to point out that this movie has a great mixture of effects. And some of it's obvious, I think, is miniature work. But some of the miniature work in this looks so real. Even when I was a kid, I'm like, how did they do that? And I'm like, that's a miniature? Get out of here. And a lot of the flying in the city, those are all miniatures. This is really like some great Blade Runner level fucking city visual effects done by Industrial Light and Magic. And I especially like all of the plane action that's in this, and so much of it is miniature. And again, I get annoyed when people are mistaking a fucking P-40 Warhawk, not the P-39, a fucking P-40 they used in this film, is an obvious fucking plane. It looks nothing like the silhouette of a fucking Mitsubishi Zero. And twice in this film, people mistake it for Japanese. Also, a twin prop plane gets mistaken for a Zero too. I'm like, by a pilot? Some of the stuff in here that annoyed me was the lack of military advisory on some of the shit happening in this film. But there's also another unsung hero in this film. John Landis is in this movie, the director of Animal House, American Werewolf in London, Into the Night. One of my favorite directors of all time, despite what happened on The Twilight Zone. I still love the guy. I really do. And he is the dusty motorcycle driver.
Oh.
That's John Landis, man. Because he started talking, and I'm like, I know that fucking voice. I know that voice. And I went looking, I'm like, oh my God, that's John Landis. And I love that Belushi kicks him in the chest. Because he also was a stuntman. A lot of people don't know that. John Landis, the famous writer-director, mostly director, mostly. This is supposed to be Andrew's sister. And they screwed up. Does anybody know why?
The hair color.
Yep, the hair color's wrong. The tall middle sister was blonde. And then the girl on the right of the other sister, she was really light brown to the point where you could probably call her ginger. Oh, wait, what's this? You want some great dancing through Nicholas. Oh, my God, the Nicholas brothers. Yeah, man. And that's who Gregory Hines and his brother played in Cotton Club. And by the way, I really liked them dancing. They were great dancers, him and his brother. Though history would have turned out a lot different if you had voted for Teddy Roosevelt in 1912 instead of Wilson. You goddamn right. Because if there was anything, he was America first president, always. And if not for him, he did more for the environment than all the presidents combined after him. And I'm talking about fucking Teddy Roosevelt. You know, he had 1.5 terms. He had half a term because the president he served as vice president to died in office. And then he was elected, and then he tried to run for technically his what could have been considered his third term, which they could do back then, by the way. It was Harry S. Truman ended that shit because even though he was Franklin Delano Roosevelt's vice president, he did not like Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He didn't like him because he was a cheated on his wife. There are a lot of things he didn't like about FDR. Harry Truman was a straight shooter, man. Give him hell, Harry. But absolutely, Sander, absolutely. Yeah, one of my top 10 favorite films of all time right there. And another director I don't give enough love to, but I do love is John Huston. Anima hates the way he talks, and I'm like, no, that's his family way of talking.
He sounds pretentious as fuck.
Not. He is about as down to earth as you get as a person. When he got pulled before the HUAC subcommittee, he kind of mocked them to their faces. But at the same time, he also showed, I'm a red-blooded American. I never have been, nor have I associated with communists outside of them working for me. And he gave no names. And he basically told HUAC, "You'll fuck yourself." A year before, let's see, 41, Citizen Kane. By the way, that's the real Los Angeles theater in this movie. That whole city block, they set that up for the movie. So you get to see it in one scene. You get to see it in 3 different ways. You get to see it with live action. You get to see it with live action actors in the foreground and a projected screen in the background that was so fucking good, I couldn't see it. There she is. Look at her dancing. That chick, she was a gymnast, man. And I just had the biggest crush on her in the late 70s, going into the early 80s. There's Joe, the former member of SCTV as well. I mean, you see a lot of you see SNL, but not more. You see a lot of Second City actors. I'm surprised they didn't get the women from there because, good God, they look the part. Yes, Slasher, what was it, Slasher Fred? That was 10 years before Maltese Falcon 31. Truman was just like pretty much every major Democrat figure since the 40s in using the Yahtzee and fascist slurs against his political rivals. Oh, people think that shit's new. We've seen mudslinging like that since the late 17, early 1800s. Because, like, I think it was Thomas and Jefferson, or it was either him or Adams that referred to his opponent as a cross-dresser in the newspapers. I'm not kidding you. Go back and look at some of the mudslinging in American history between rivals for office. It gets fucking ugly. That's not new.
I mean, calling your rival a cross-dresser, that's kindergarten level.
Well, this is early 1800s when that happened. I think it was like,
yeah, some things are they do not imply the same thing or the same severity that
it would then.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can pull that up real quick here. Oh, fuck if there's no evidence. I fucking hate Brave. They are like the worst.
Searching, yeah.
I've seen the actual news article, a copy of the printed newspaper. No evidence of that. Fuck off.
Maybe you're reading the AI summary of Brave, which is, yes, it's the worst AI summaries of all search engines. Is the ones from Brave. However,
yeah, it's like lazy.
I do not read AI summaries from anyone. They are always skew or plainly wrong.
Oh, this is another one. Jefferson referred to John Adams as being a hermaphrodite.
Oh my God.
That is just wrong.
People criticizes Trump.
I'm just telling you, man, you know, being fucking mudslingers is nothing fucking new.
Politicians have always been like that.
Marketed or produced? He's saying marketed, and I wouldn't be surprised. You know, this film originally, like I said, started out as a movie about the incident in the Battle of LA. Yeah. I told you the date. Now I'm forgetting the date. I think it was 43, wasn't it?
42. I think June 42.
Because we were terrified after Pearl Harbor out there in California. People were just terrified we're going to be invaded. And that's true. And this film could have played on that really well instead of turning it into straight slapstick at every turn. I prefer comedies with that feel more natural, which is why I think this film tanked. Well, it didn't really tank, but it did flop.
It's bad. That's why.
Yeah.
You can still make a bad movie fun. And this was fun to me as a kid. I enjoyed the crap out of it. But now that I'm older, I'm annoyed by some of the military stuff. Another classic 1940s dance song was Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy Company B by the Andrews Sisters. Yes. Well, if somebody, Sam Fuller was something else. I love Samuel Fuller. Real fucking combat vet that served as a writer-director in Hollywood. So I'm glad he was in this. I fucking love that man. What I despise about people using AI is that AI models depend on, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Without saying, I wholly agree with you, brother. What I think AI can be useful in is like, okay, a short film by a friend of mine, two friends of mine, they're using AI for visual effects. So the AI is of the people in their movie, not borrowed from other fucking movies. And it's a way of doing some of the effects in it. All he wants to see is his goddamn movie. Leave him alone. I really liked one of the gags in the film where the two guys want to steal the suit. So they go into the dressing area and start cranking up a fucking air raid siren. Cause everybody to create chaos so they can escape with the suit that he's stealing. And it's the Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy of Company B.
Hello, Penny.
Yeah. Hi, Penny. Good morning. Yeah, the Big Red One's one. I love that fucking movie, especially the reconstructed director's cut. And I really liked it. My biggest complaint is the same as my dad. My dad complained when we went to see it in the theater. He said, "This is D-Day. Not enough ships in the water. What are they doing?" It's like there are a couple of ships out there. It's like, no, that was an armada. The is part and parcel of the degeneration of standards. Why hire good writers? And absolutely, yeah, that's bullshit. Like when I use AI, I use it as an editor on my music, and you can enhance. Even with AI, you can actually replace an instrument if you don't like the one you chose originally. You can replace it. It plays exactly the same, but you can pick a better instrument to play that part. And it's really good for engineering and producing music. But when it comes to just making music from it, I don't like that because you're actually technically stealing when you do that. So yeah, AI is a good editing tool, but when you start using it for creation, I have a problem. And so my friend, what he's doing with AI, he and the director are basically taking shots from the film, photo one or image one, image two, and creating a path between the two. They're stealing from their own film, stealing their own visuals. And so there you go. I think it works. Although, like one of the shots I saw is fucking insane. I'm like, I stopped it like a couple times when I looked at this scene, and I'm like, your head's on backwards in this one scene. Like when he's going through the air, your character, his head is backwards. And he looked at it and he laughed. Yeah.
He admitted that they have issues with it still.
Yeah.
That was funny.
But when you have no budget, you're trying to make movies, and you shoot 99% of your film, and you need some visual effects, AI is a good place to go if you got no money.
Yeah, what really annoys me are the stupid fucking AI videos on YouTube, where AI does the research, AI writes the text, and it's just repetitive, boring, and sometimes.
Well, you're talking about the shit you see on YouTube all the time, these history shows, where it's researched, written, performed, and edited and put online by AI.
And narrated by an AI.
Yeah.
I said performed.
Oh. Didn't catch that.
Are you understanding the words that are coming out of my mouth? The story became a comedy
Mostly.
after Spielberg became involved as director, and the script was rewritten during the production of Close Encounters of the Third Kind 77. And I got to be honest, that's the last really good job as a writer for Spielberg, in my opinion, was Close Encounters. It's just like he used all of his skill and power and ability in that movie, and then was never really quite the same after. Now, a lot of people don't know why the tankers are firing at that sign. They're trying to turn the lights out, which becomes more obvious later when you hear Bobby DeCicco yelling shit. Get those lights out. Actually, he's commanded by Dan Aykroyd, who's got a head injury at that point. Get those lights out. So they're trying to put all the lights out, and that's what they're doing, is they're firing those Brownings. I love the water-cooled Browning. It was fucking cool looking. But do you notice the softness on all of the images? There's this softness.
Yes.
And I don't know what he used, because like some ways he called it Vaseline. I don't think that's what they used in this. I don't know. It's almost like there's a slight mist around the lens. And it's similar to some of the shots in Jaws.
I think it's a lens filter. Could be wrong.
It's just weird that it's in every shot in the movie. There's a slight visual haze on indoor shots and outdoor shots throughout the whole film. Remember 2001, some survivors of the Kamikaze Corps getting angry at being compared to at least after military targets. Yeah, they weren't aiming at soft targets. So yeah, there's no comparison. Absolutely, I agree. And absolutely, this guy is a future sex offender. Treat Williams' character. Oh, shut up, Mav. The fog of war. Good joke. I like that one. Thanks, buddy. I needed that. A good chuckle this morning. I know that when I told people at school, when Alien came out, that the slime you see in there is KY jelly. And they went, what? I'm like, yeah, it's KY jelly, because we knew what it was when I was 15. KY, that's for fucking. And what they did is, well, first they bought like the most KY they could buy for all that slime, but then they realized it's not cost effective. So they learned how to make it. And they'd make it by buckets, like giant buckets of slime. Well, it's a fact, honey. You can do the I all you want to.
Yes, it's a fact.
I'm not making it up.
No, he's not.
Yeah. But you're bringing it up. So fuck you.
It's history. Yeah, all it is made primarily of what's it called? Hydroxyethylene glycol, I think is what it is, or cellulose. Cellulose, which is glycerin. And you can actually make it. And they learned how to make it for Alien.
Oh, come on. Even the chat is now appropriating my
Mister, you have no room for doing that Sander.
Anima stole it from me.
I can do
Yeah,
what I
because it
want.
wasn't. Look, I'm going to tell you, it's not a complete loss because they shot this film on a $35 million budget, and it ended up making right around 94, 95 million.
Then why it is said that the movie almost
It is
broke the studio?
It's a critical flop, and it didn't make the money they expected. They expected 3 times that. And it, look, people don't understand how a flop works because they think, well, if the money made its money back, it's not a flop. It is if the studio needed it to make more. See, you don't think about that.
If I get costs for marketing.
It's like, well, they made its budget back and a little over. That's not proof of profitability. That's why all the truth, all the, what's it called, will come out in the wash over some of this shit going on at Warner Brothers, where they tried to say one of their films was profitable. And I said, bullshit. The truth will come out in the wash. When they have to do their investor meeting and show what they made in that quarter, it's going to show a fucking loss. Because if Superman, and that's the movie they're saying was a huge hit, and I'm like, no, it's not. Did not make what it was needed to. And they're like, yes, it did. I said, then why is the studio still up for sale? Can't answer that. Can you? No. I tell people all the time, look, I don't get into the things the way Valiant does or the way Culture does, or even Keith, really. But Keith will sit there and I will talk to him because I know how things work. I know how people work. And I can tell you what's going on just by my understanding of people and money. That was a loss. Superman was a huge fucking flop for the studio. Oh, but it made a profit. Not the profit they needed. And they're lying and trying to shine it over. It's like, don't look at how bad this is. But it's eventually going to come out in the wash how much of a loss they had. Remember when Disney tried to say 2 of their films were huge hits? And then the truth came out and they were flops. Like we knew from the beginning. Stop trying to propagate the fucking lies. That's what I dislike about people, shills, who go about like, no, they said it too. And it's like, oh yeah, they're not going to lie to save face. Not at all. Not studios. No way. Fucking people. No, it's a beautifully made movie. I mean, these effects before Blade Runner are incredible. They rebuilt these streets in miniature. And they're not tiny, tiny miniatures. These are like really large buildings as tall as a man, miniatures. And the intermixing of cuts between the real street corner and the miniature street corner is flawless.
Dude,
The effects are really good in this.
Yes, the effects, the photography, the cast, the freaking music. The script is shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it depends, Alpha. Because I could go at this as a movie critic and say that all of those were entertaining, but 2 of them don't fit, which is 41 and ET, because I fucking hate ET. But then again, I know what you're getting at here, and you're going after profitability. And because I see exactly what you're doing. And every single one of those films at 1941 was truly profitable. 1941 made its money back in a few bucks, but that's not what the studio needed. And it really did. It almost tanked the fucking studio. And it was a black eye for fucking Spielberg. I also love the way Dan Aykroyd's fucking insane in this scene. but Frank McRae as Ogden Johnson Jones. It's Private Ogden Johnson Jones fucking wearing a catcher's outfit. Cracks me up. Because that was a nod to a lot of guys, especially some of the black guys who played in the Negro Leagues that went into the military at the onset of World War II. But also, Anima brought up something about food waste. I said, you've got to understand, this is before 43. By 1943, we went into food rations because the country was running out of food, and we had to ration stuff because the food needed to be sent to the front. For what it's worth, I don't actually like Spielberg. Great cinematographer, poor storyteller. Look, you got to catch me on the movie. In general, I don't agree with the poor storyteller. I think he is a good storyteller, but not the best. Why? Because he wouldn't know, like Ridley Scott wouldn't know irony if you slapped him in the face with it. In fact, the most ironic films that he worked on were films that were written and produced by somebody else. George Lucas or Zanuck and Brown for Jaws. They babysat him. If you didn't know this, while making Jaws, they were there for almost every day, but they were on location 95% of that shoot. And they were there for one reason and one reason only, to make sure he didn't fuck it up. And their job was to make sure and approve any changes he made on set and to make sure that he didn't lose the film that the studio wanted. And it was all on, because they were technically line producers. And line producers is the producers whose ass is on the line for the production. And so therefore, Zanuck and Brown were the line producers on that film. Even though they were called other things, their asses were on the line for that movie, and their careers were over if that movie had tanked. And the studio was absolutely terrified of Spielberg. You know, yes, he's famous and he's gonna do all this shit, but you know, it's our money that he's doing it with. I hope he doesn't fuck this up. And it is said that he broke the shark the first time by sitting in its mouth. It was when George Lucas visited the set, showing off, and broke the shark. And then they started having problems out. Now, this is the scene. That's Murray Hamilton on the left. He, of course, is the mayor from Jaws. And then you got Eddie Deason, fucking Liev Schreiber's retarded son. And even though he's older than Liev. And I don't know who voiced that fucking dummy, but that was one of the worst things in this movie. I fucking hated that thing, the whole movie. And I love fucking ventriloquist dummies. I love them. I always wanted to be a ventriloquist. And I'm like, Murray Hamilton, possibly in the top 50 greatest actors of the 20th century. Character actors. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Character actors. He's just such a good character actor. Sitting with a fucking ventriloquist dummy as a gag. It was so weird.
The whole thing with the Ferris wheel made zero sense. You can cut that out and it doesn't.
No. I was fine with the idea of going up there and observing, because it's, you want to be in the highest point, and that's one of the highest points right there, is to be at the top of that fucking wheel. That was good. The gag with the dummy fucking irritated me. Eddie Deason annoys the fucking shit out of me. I would have preferred two characters that were more like the two old guys in Jaws that stole the wife's roast to go out and see if they could catch that shark. That's the kind of characters these two should have been. And I don't think it's a mistake that this scene is reminiscent of that.
They should have gone with the trying to imitate the Muppets pair of old men in the balcony.
That'd have been funny too. But I don't think that was in the cards then. Also, I think Belushi is fucking awful in this film. I loved him when I was a kid, but when I watched this again, I fucking hated him in this part. He's just playing Bluto. Like maybe he's Bluto's dad. You know, from Animal House, for you idiots that don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
My brain
I'm just
has
teasing.
erased that movie from memory.
The Fablemans, I kind of like the film. But what I didn't like was I'm from Phoenix. That doesn't look anything like Phoenix when they're shooting it in wherever they shot that. Looks nothing like Phoenix from when we were kids. I really liked this chick. I don't even know who the hell she is. I have no idea who the fuck she is. The only chick I know in this film really is the Italian bird, Wendy Jo Sperber, and come on, Gary, Nancy Allen as Donna in this.
Nancy,
and they had an opportunity. By the way, I fucking love the way he's got that fucking machine gun. I'm like, fuck yeah, that's how you hold one of those. Fucking Rambo before Rambo. And you could actually hit things with that. The Browning 30 caliber water cool, because that thing you could put on your arm and fire a few bursts. You would not shoot fully automatic, but you would shoot bursts with that thing and not get the shit burned out of you. Although I would highly recommend putting something over your arm. I had a lot of problems with the film, and everybody raved about the scene with John Ford in it. And don't get me wrong, he did a fantastic job playing John Ford. But I don't, that just kind of came out of nowhere. The way he shot that scene, wrote it, I don't like it. Okay, the scenes here with the fucking planes flying through the streets is some of the best work historically from Industrial Light and Magic. They did it the Japanese way, wires. And these are big model kits, big streets, miniatures. And this guy, what a fucking idiot that character is, Kelso. Was she really in that show? I honestly, I swear to God, I'm not kidding you. I never watched Dangerous Enough. I knew the show. I love Dick Van Patten. That show did not interest me at all. There were a lot of shows that didn't interest me when I was a kid. Like they did a TV series version of Seven Brides. I'm like, I am so not interested in this. Mark Hamill was in it. He was also in Eight Ages and Up too, as I recall. Lorraine Gary, I knew her. She, of course, is Chief Brody's wife. Nancy Allen. She was really kind of she really had that old movies look. She had that look. She was
a very beautiful woman.
I agree.
Oh, Lydia Hedberg's in this too. Not a very pretty woman, but a very good actor. Wendy Jo Sperber, God rest that woman's soul. I had a thing for her back when I was a little kid. I admit it. I like them older women, man. There's also a great little cameo in this by David L. Lander and Michael McKean. And what are they best known for, guys? They were Lenny and Squiggy on Laverne and Shirley. And Laverne is in this too. She has a bit part, almost like a cameo. And but they're known as Lenny and Squiggy. And for those who don't know, that David L. Lander died young with that fucking MS shit. He suffered for years. I loved it when he disappeared for a long period of time, and then suddenly he showed up as one of Al Bundy's old friends for the class reunion episode. It was so good to see him again. Because he was really sickly. Damn near died. I like that Lionel Stander is in this, another great actor from the old days. He plays Angelo Scioli, the guy who runs the pier. Dub Taylor's in this. He's the guy that owns a little cafe. He, Mr. Malcolm. Great fucking character actor. A lot of great famous character actors in this fucking movie. Slim Pickens included. You know. And you know, Bobby DeCicco, I don't know whatever happened to that guy, man. It's like he just sort of disappeared by the mid 80s. But goddamn, he had a lot of talent. And it was funny. He's still working. The last thing he did, though, is in 2018. Born 10 years before me. The last thing he did was an interview with God in 2018. He was in 1996's All Dogs Go to Heaven 2. Voice acting, by the way, part 2. Yeah, it was really by the 90s he had just disappeared. He had so much promise. I mean, the guy was reduced to being in movies like Maniac Cop 3.
That sounds like a horrible movie.
I have never seen any of them. What's his name? Bob. Was it Bob? Liz, oh man, the guy who played the guy at Giant Jawline. Yeah, Robert Zadar. That's it. Robert. He sounds like Bob Lazar. Robert Zadar. Yeah, boy, he had a serious case of fucking acromegaly. And it got worse as he got older. And I do believe that it is eventually what did kill him.
Untreated, yeah.
Even with treatment, it can still kill you because thing gets so large. His fucking jawline. Just let me find him here. Hold on. There we go. There we go. There we go.
Go for Tango Cash. Tango and Cash, I mean.
This is Robert Zadar. And one of my favorite gags with him was when he was in Tango and Cash. And he goes, "You did that with that jaw?" Like, goddamn, man, they're making fun of his, his physical anomaly. Let me engorge that. There we go.
Ooh, that's what she said.
Look at his fucking jawline.
Oh yeah.
Look like Stan the cop in Family Guy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he does.
He was a fucking, he had problems. Good guy. Great for playing villains. Especially in 80s movies. I loved you to go to the Barbarian. That was it. Great line.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stallone. Look, I got to tell you, Stallone has to be careful with when he's trying to do comedy. Because if he tries to deliver lines the way Arnold does, it doesn't fucking work, which is what he tried to do with the first Blood movie, the very first Rambo film. And that's why he wanted to chop out almost all of his dialogue, because it's really bad. He cannot do one-liners very well. But somehow it kind of worked with Tango and Cash. And it makes me sad that Kurt Russell made Escape from LA, which is a terrible film, but it's a sequel to a better film, and but turned down doing Tango and Cash 2 to Stallone.
You call it a sequel though when it's the same story frame by frame?
Yeah, it is. It is. What's this? Wait a minute. He reminds me of the character in Tango and Cash that says "real badass cops." Well, he is in Tango and Cash, buddy.
He is that character.
Yeah. Not only does he remind you of him, he is. You don't look so bad, do you? Do you? You fuck. Let's see. According to Wikipedia, Zadar was Chippendale's dancer. I imagine girls weren't looking at his jaw. Yes, they were looking at his other nickname, Big Johnson. Man, he could scare the hell out of you with his glare. Yeah, he's a scary looking dude. These little two fucking eyes in the middle of this gigantic fucking head.
I wouldn't want to meet him in the dark.
And like I said, though, really nice guy.
Yes, I have never heard a negative word about him.
No, I've heard from people that have worked with him personally. I've heard from them. Said, yeah, he's just the sweetest guy, just nice, gentle giant. And it reminds me of that guy that played the leader of the biker gang in Every Which Way But Loose and Any Which Way You Can with Clint Eastwood. Because he was on an episode back when, I don't know why we watched the show, but I did enjoy it because they had a lot of celebrities on the show. It was PTL. And he came on there in an interview, this biker, this actor that always plays bad guys. And he said, man, this lady, I ran into her on the 10, Highway 10, I-10, and she had a flat, and it was not a very safe area to park. I mean, to be doing this, it was near the walls, and it's a good way to get smashed doing that. And so he says, can I help you? And she freaked out. And he's like a devout Christian, kindest man on the planet, loyal to his friends. And he says, and he found that ironic that she got scared of me, and I've got the biggest heart, but I bet you she would let somebody like Ted Bundy, who's good looking, help her. He is, and that's sad about our society. Ted was an absolute psychopath.
Yeah.
Turn off those lights, you little asshole. Like this, because the kid, big, shiny, candy-like red button. They had to fucking hit it. And this is the actual battle in the film is between them and this fucking sub trying to shoot him. And the only thing that they score a hit on is the Ferris wheel and the pier. And that's another great miniature work in this, including the miniature of fucking Belushi on the motorcycle. The way it's lit, it's like, it's hard to tell when you're looking at a miniature and when you're looking at the real thing, the way they lit it. It was really fucking brilliant. And this is where I agree with you on your sentiment in the chat about him being, Spielberg is a natural DP. He knows how he wants the scenes lit, and he shows the DP how he wants it lit. He doesn't rely on them to do it. Same thing with Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott's a terrible director, but he's a hell of a fucking director of photography. People go, why is Blade Runner so beloved? I said, well, it's not the fucking script or the story in the film. I won't blame the script. I'll blame Ridley for fucking around with it and screwing it up. But what Blade Runner is beloved for is its visuals. And that's why it is voted by both the British Film Institute and the American Film Institute as the single most influential film of the 20th century, because it was copied by other filmmakers more than any other film. People think, oh, well, can't you just say what is most influential? No, you have to have proof of why it's more influential. And Blade Runner is visually the single most influential film of the 20th century. John Quaid also was in another Eastwood film. Yeah, that's the dude, including the Comanchero leader and the outlaw Josie Wales. Yeah, he and Clint were close friends. Clint was a lot like John Wayne, a lot of those actor producers, where as well as he being a director too, is that he would get his own posse of actors. That was the scene right there, Martin, with the baby powder and the black soot on Candy. This is great.
However,
this is great.
Yeah, that was a good scene. However, I like more how we start in which you see McRae just strangling John Candy.
Yeah, he shows up at the fucking barracks needing a place to sleep, and Candy's being all fucking racist with him. Comically so, by doing the painting on the ground. And he goes, don't cross that line, don't cross that line. And he gets him to cross the last line, and he goes out the door, and he shuts the door. He paints his face and then shuts the door in his face. He goes, and that's how you do it.
Always works.
But, so here we go. I'm going to pause it here for a second because nobody breached the back door today, have they?
Yes.
Yeah,
waited.
We had a breach, but Martin used the new clip.
Here you go.
Jones, the port hatch. From the port hatch, Sarge! The back door, Ogden!
Holy. Fuel pumps, prime one.
Fuel pumps, prime one.
I fucking love that. That's again skirting the whole racism thing in the film, and really doing it. They're showing stuff about back of the bus stuff, and which was tough because, like I said, at that time, there would be no black man attached to that unit because the Army was resegregated again for World War I by Woodrow Wilson. And it stayed that way until after World War II. And then it got desegregated again. So all those airborne rangers that were trained, black airborne rangers, never saw combat, which is why I didn't like that movie, the horror film that J.J. Abrams produced, having a black ranger in with a ranger unit going into Germany. And I'm like, that didn't happen that way. If you want to do that, you create a fictional situation that forces something to occur. That was done.
Masters of the Air too.
Yeah, for the POW camp with the Red Wings.
That was
or
weird.
The Red Tails. Red Tails? Fuck. Alpha, help me out here, buddy. I don't have always quick access to the shit in my fucking drawer of information. So I recalled Wayne was really curious, and so I sent him the script. He called me the next day and said he felt it was very un-American movie. Yeah, it's very anti-military, anti-soldier, and shouldn't waste my time making it. Yeah, I'm sure John Wayne felt about it. Kelso's character is so fucking annoying in this. Belushi. I can't stand that character.
He's a psycho.
It didn't bother me. Well, he's an idiot too.
Yeah.
He said, that was an important war, and you're making fun of a war that cost thousands of lives at Pearl Harbor. Don't joke about World War II. Which I think you can have comedies about it, but it needs to be incidental comedy. That what's happening within the film, you're not trying to do a gag. It's just funny because of what was said or how people reacted to it. This was dumb too. Like he gets charges down there. And it's like, oh, I'm a prisoner now. Anybody got a light? It's like, fuck off. But I still, there are things about this movie I love so much. I love the destruction of the house.
That bit was funny, yeah. And sure,
when he goes,
Pretty Penny.
He puts. Are you complimenting Penny?
No, I'm talking about the cost of making the house fall from the cliff, off the cliff.
Now, the way this movie should have ended, there are so many things that needed to happen here. One, Triet should have just succumbed to her ways. We should have seen that. We should have seen Nancy Allen's character just admit to feelings for Otter. Not Otter. Tim Matheson's character.
Well, in a way, she does.
Not really. She's still horny at that moment when that happens. The kiss. That's still after effects of what just occurred in that plane. They should have shown it the next morning after all this has happened, that she just sort of looks at him and just smiles at him and kisses him. I think that would have been pretty cool, because this is a guy who's liked this girl since high school. There's so many little things they should have taken care of here at the end that they didn't do. I like good wrap ups. So the other wrap up, we should have seen what happened to Christopher Lee's character, seen it, and that if he survived, that he was not captured, but instead just sort of like took his uniform off and just sort of wanders past people because he's not Asian.
Oh no,
They're
no,
not
no,
gonna care.
no. What they have should done is put him treading water, and then you see the shark fin with the theme, and he look the look on his face. Oh,
Yeah, I can see that.
No, I said that, Alpha. I said that. I said there were airborne rangers, black airborne rangers, but they were not deployed. And once again, because FDR didn't see fit to desegregate the military. And so they never saw color. So I've always said that it would have been nice if, when they made that horror film a few years back, if they had shown that they needed somebody to go in there, and you see the racial aspects of this story too, that they don't want to send any blacks into this unit. So what they do is, this is super duper top secret, and nobody will ever know about this, that we're sending in black airborne rangers to save these American rangers in this castle. And I'm like, that would have been fun, because that would explain why it's not on the books and why it's bullshit. Or, you know, maybe it's not bullshit because maybe this did happen. You know, you use fiction the way it's supposed to be fucking used, and not show something that is absolute fiction and try to pass it off as true. And that's what pissed me off about that movie. I don't remember the name of that fucking movie, but it was a horror film in a German castle where they have to fight these genetically altered Germans, monsters.
Operation Overlord or Overlord?
That
Just Overlord.
Yeah, that fucking movie. People go, you could watch it? And I'm like, no, I'm not, because it's an insult to the actual black airborne rangers by making up some bullshit story in a way, doing something in the film that didn't fucking happen, because the military was racist because its commander-in-chief was. We had two fucking commander-in-chiefs that could have done something or should have done something as we went into war and didn't do it. So, but yeah, Alpha, we're not arguing here. You and I are in agreement. I knew about that, and I brought that up. And that's why I said, you know, I went to you. Oh, not Rangers. Okay. So they didn't have the Rangers tab or ribbon. Okay. All right. Additionally, after a preview screening to investors in Dallas received negative. Oh, you know why? Because of a line Candy said about the guns and all the equipment. He says you could do a lot of damage with this in Dallas. And they took that scene out and made it Vegas. They re-looped it with ADR. Because originally it was Dallas in the film, and then they changed it. So let's get into a little bit before we wrap up here. We got a few minutes. So I'll get over here. They involved everything in this. This was like Mulligan stew with a lot of the incidents, from the Battle of Los Angeles, the Zoot Suit riots, all of it taking place 6 days after Pearl Harbor. And so that's the main problem. By the way, this film was written by the two Bobs, Bob Gale and Bob Zemeckis. And I think it's one of their weakest scripts that I've ever seen them write. And I was surprised because I haven't seen this movie in years. And I watched it and I'm like, I enjoyed this much more when I was a kid, because zany was fun with me back then. Not anymore. I want more cohesion to something happening. And the only real story you have in this film, and the only two real protagonists you have in this film are Bobby DeCicco and the chick that he's going after. What's her name? Oh my God, I am drawing a blank again on that girl's name. Diana Kaye, playing Betty Douglas. You know, their relationship is a story. That's the story. But it's so fucking it's stretched, this thin thread of story all the way through the movie. It just doesn't work. The other main issue with black units in World War II was the Army tended to officer them with Southern officers, thinking they would know how to lead blacks better than Northerners. Well, terrible idea. Just terrible. By the way, having grown up in the South, I love Vic Armstrong the way he said my name. And he's been on this show, damn it. I want to get him back on here. He didn't call me Gary. He called me Gurry. Hey, Gurry. And what cracked me up years later is Cleveland Brown has that same fucking accent. And the accent my buddy had. And it's apparently like a Northern Virginia, Southern Maryland accent. The Gurry, saying things like that. Like God, he would just say every word that should have an "et" in it was
It's weird.
The film premiered at Cinerama Dome in Hollywood, which I love that place. And on the 13th of December, 79, before opening to the public the following day. That's right. Yeah, they should have. I bet you it was the reception that night was scary. Schlesinger's Yanks demonstrates a scene where the white CGI gang tries to string a couple of, There's a scene from the show Boardwalk Empire where the main cop on the show, little Southern guy, I fucking love that dude as an actor. He goes in with his deputy, and he's carrying a fucking Tommy machine gun, I think. It's either that or a shotgun. I can't remember. It's been so long since I've seen that. In the middle of a Klan meeting, they're like, "What do you want?" He says, "This is fully legal. We're not committing a crime," And he takes the dragon, the leader, under arrest, and they're like, "We're not committing any crimes here." He goes, "There's nothing illegal about what we're doing here." He goes, and the cop goes, "What you doing here?" "Yeah, but stringing up," and this is how he phrased it, "stringing up darkies, that's a crime in my town." And I was like, that's really good. Still sounds racist because he said, that bit of an epithet. It's like, that is racist. That's like when my uncle came to visit my roommate and me out in Virginia, and he hadn't been to Virginia. My uncle Harold hadn't been there in a long time. And this is a man who is absolutely a civil rights activist. My entire family was made up of activists in that department, and threatened to be killed over their stance, and were driven out of a town overnight, out of a state, and because of their stance on paying black laborers the same wage they paid the white laborers in the South. You don't do that, apparently. So my family was driven out. My Uncle Harold was just one of those guys. But we're sitting in the middle of my living room, and Uncle Harold's like, "I can't believe how much this place has changed." He goes, "I remember being here." He goes, "And I don't remember," and I want you guys to forgive me for saying this because this is a quote. He says, "One thing that's really different since the last time I was here, there's a lot more Negroes." And I remember my eyes went, because I have a black roommate. And he leaned up and I heard him say, "What did he say?" And I went, like, it's okay. And I had to explain to him later, that was not considered racist to say that where they lived in Illinois, Kentucky, and Tennessee. That's where my family did their little circle of running businesses, construction businesses. And I told him, I said, "Yeah, my uncle and my grandfather ran house construction businesses where they hired a lot of black laborers, and in a time when you weren't supposed to be doing it, paid them the exact same wage they paid the whites, and refused to pay them less, which got them into a lot of trouble. I love the sliding of that fucking house off that fucking pier, by the way. I mean, off that hill. This movie should have been as good as its casting and production teams. I can't believe how bad this movie is. Just doesn't match the sum of its parts. I love Ned Beatty in this story, his character, trying to defend his house and ends up destroying his fucking home. When she just stands in front of that fucking barrel, and I don't know, every other military guy I know would probably be freaking out, like, get the fuck out of the way of that barrel. Stop standing there. And by the way, Toshiro Mifune learned his line phonetically at the end. What does he say? Goodbye, good luck, something like that to the German when he throws him off the ship. Yeah, good luck. And he had to learn it phonetically because he spoke zero English. I love Stack in this movie. He was perfect as Stillwell. But anyway, that was a funny moment in my life. Trying to keep Kennard from losing his shit when my uncle said that word. And he explained to him that no, they really, that was just what they called them at that point, even within their own culture. In his interview for the New York Times, Vincent Canby wrote, quote, "There are too many characters who aren't immediately comic. There are too many simultaneous actions." Exactly. Too much going on at once. Yeah, this movie is stacked with that shit. Now, in the hands of a master director, like, say, the guy who owned Winchester Films and made the movie His Girl Friday, he could do that and get it to work. Perry Lang is another one that was a big TV actor mostly, but he was in a couple of movies. I just think that this movie was completely mishandled from the beginning.
I believe they wasted a cast like that on this mess.
Right? It really is. It's a waste of a really good cast.
And composer.
Like, we never find out what happens to Slim Pickens. We never find out what happens to the German officer. There's so many characters that are kind of just disappear by the end of the film. Nothing. We never find out what happened. And you don't do that. You don't do that with your films. You wrap everything up. Everything should be wrapped up. There she is, Wendy. She got her man. Lionel Stander. I fucking love that guy. He's been around a long time. There's Dub Taylor. He's a good old boy. I don't know who the fuck that is.
They should have had the decency to name Eddie Deason last, but he's among the first ones that pop up, and that's just wrong.
No worries, Joe. Don't worry about it, buddy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can kill a joke doing that. Absolutely, Gambit. Bad editing will ruin and destroy a joke. This movie is good in a few ways, but it could have contained a potential. No, it was a movie that had potential that should have been gone through one more rewrite, and focus on story. What is your theme? What is your main premise? What is the main arc of your story?
Yeah, there's nothing on this one.
For Spielberg to have not made this, and maybe the reason he chose not to do it is because he just did Close Encounters, is to focus on the UFO incident. I don't know. I love this poster, by the way. This poster is very reminiscent of another film poster. Does anybody want to take a shot at where it's absolute visual chaos?
Nope.
No idea.
Big Trouble in Little China. because that's technically not how you're supposed to do a movie poster. This kind of chaos, not supposed to do that.
Well,
This
no
movie
movie
did it.
fits.
In Big Trouble in Little China, two films that were expected to do better than they did theatrically. Big Trouble is more of a cult hit than it is a big hit, because it wasn't. It kind of flopped, but it built up a following, huge fan base, myself included. I saw it in the movie theater twice. Oh, the cast? I don't know. I didn't even look at that. You're probably right. They probably did it alphabetically.
I don't like when they do that.
I love how Dumbo is even in the poster. I love how the Hollywood sign appears in the film all in miniature. Someone says, no, they went a shot on location. No, they didn't. All the shots of the Hollywood, because it says Hollywoodland. And in the movie, they're showing you their bullshit explanation of why the land disappeared. Even though it actually disappeared in the 30s, didn't it, during an earthquake? And that's the other thing that shocks me right there, Gambit, that one of the producers on this film is none other than John Milius. And that this movie has so many anti-soldier, anti-military things in it that I'm like, John Milius worked on this?
Maybe I was in name only.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because
He
he
was
came up in that
involved
group. He was part of that group. You know, Francis Coppola, George Lucas. And when things went south for him, every single one of those filmmakers could have helped him. None of them helped him. And that's what I mean. They go, well, they say they're friends, but I think they're friends in name only. Because Milius, when things get tough for that guy, not one of them did anything. Give him a job as a writer. Have him help produce a film. Like Raiders of the Lost Ark, for Christ's sake. That's a film where he could have definitely been in there to pump up some of the military aspects. Could have been carefully pleasing. Let's see, and strange, considering John Milius did Apocalypse Now first, right? In fact, again, I want to point out, Francis Ford Coppola was asked a question at a Q&A about Apocalypse Now, and somebody says, like, basically, are there any great moments that you're proud of that you wrote that in the film? And his answer was, all those scenes that you like to quote from the movie. And you're like, yeah, John Milius wrote those. I didn't. And I thought that was funny. And it was also humble. I like seeing humility in Coppola, because Coppola's a bit of a fucking asshole, and I don't like him on a personal level. And it's not over anything creative. It's over his stance with a film director. And Silva is the guy's name. Victor Salva. That's it. Vic Salva. This guy. Can you add this when I share it, Martin?
Okay. Yes. Still loading. Okay, here we go.
He's the guy who wrote and directed Jeepers Creepers in 2001, which was produced by Francis Ford Coppola. He's considered by himself as a protege of Coppola, and with the way Coppola treats him, I believe it. But here's what upset me, is that when he made that film and Ford produced that movie, he was already a convicted sex offender with children. Convicted.
Wow. It looks like
Admitted.
a thumb.
A human thumb. Yeah. And Coppola defends him to this fucking day.
That's just wrong.
And I consider Francis Ford Coppola a scumbag for that.
Yeah.
And I will never not consider him a scumbag. Coppola defended, yeah. Yeah, of all of the fucking people on earth, he chose to triple down on that cocksucker. Real scumbag. And Vic Salva should never work in this town ever again. And I mean like in entertainment, because he can't be trusted with children. Why? Because recidivism of child predators is damn near 100. So that's why you can never trust them. Polanski is not a true PDF. He's and this is a funny joke a comedian said one time. He says somebody called this guy a PDF, and I said, well, technically he's an pedophile. You know, you have three ones: PDF, then you have the one in the middle, and you have a pedophile. And like one likes before puberty, one likes just post puberty, and the other one likes anywhere between 15 and 18. And he says, but good luck trying not to sound like you're a sex offender trying to explain the difference. Because you end up sounding like a sex offender when you explain the difference. And that's why I stopped trying to explain to people. Because it would annoy me when they would call somebody who went after a 16-year-old girl a PDF. And I'm like, so I just finally said, you know, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do something that I said I would never do. I'm going to accept that name as an all-inclusive term for all of them.
I mean, does it really matter which label you slap on it? It's still wrong.
Yeah, it's wrong. And that's why I finally said, just fuck it. I'm going to stop trying to correct people, because I end up sounding like there's something wrong with me when I try to explain the difference to them. They're like, why are you arguing? It's like, are you one of them? No, I'm not. Stop it. And Polanski liked those girls right around that fucking age of 16, 17. That was his gig. And people were like, well, you know, and I said this too. I think that he snapped after the murder of his wife and her unborn baby. I do believe that's true. But I want to point out that one of the things that the police hid in all of the filings that they did was they found pornographic films that he had made at home with her, and he was making her have sexual relations with other men, forced. And I'm like, okay, you know, look, man, Polanski, I think, is a bad dude. Not saying he wasn't a good filmmaker. I like some of his films, but other than one movie that I finally said, I'm just going to have to accept it, that I'm always going to like this movie, which is the Harrison Ford film he did, Polanski did, with the doctor surgeon that goes to France and his wife gets kidnapped.
Frantic.
It just popped in my head right when you said it. God damn it. But I love that fucking movie, and I can't stand Polanski. And I won't watch anything that he made after 77, because that's when he did it. He committed the crime. Yeah, Mephisto even said it, even though he doesn't know how to spell the damn word. Let's see, what is this? And when he was in Poland with his family, permanently staying there, he was separated from them due to Nazi occupation in Warsaw. Yeah. And he tried to tell people, you know, haven't I suffered enough? You know, I've been practically in prison my entire life since I left America. And I'm like, I don't think you understand what prison is when you say that. He was 13 and it was forcible. Absolutely. He was allowed to plead down to statutory, but then he heard that the prosecuting attorney took that off the table and that he was going to go to the full extent of the law and send his ass to prison. And that's when he fled. They were going to make an example out of Roman Polanski, that Hollywood's not going to get away with this shit. True story. That is why he fled the U.S. Polanski couldn't shoot Frantic in the U.S., so he had to do it in Paris. And I like the fact they shot it in Paris because that's the Paris I remember. Because that wasn't long after I had been there, and so I recognized locations. I'm like, oh, I remember being there. Mephisto, C-K, whatever. Don't have a cow, man. Hey, that joke would have worked if you'd spelled it with a K. Gambit. And you can't edit. It's too late. Too late, mister. All right, we're going to get out of here, guys. Yeah, don't have a cow, man. Good, Alpha. Alpha fixed it. All right. I want to thank Gambit for being here, man. Always enjoy your post, buddy. Snorty, Emmanuel, I hope you're doing okay in France. You and your husband, Regis. Meth, 11 Alpha. Always appreciate the history backup with you, Alpha. I always deeply appreciate that, brother. Slasher Fred, love your post. Joaquin Maya, 1:15 p.m. 1:15 p.m. I don't think I saw any of his posts during the show. Did he post? Or he just stop in and say hi?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing any of his posts. Anyway, Wade from Wade Nations Gaming. Glenn Fleming was here to say hi. And then, of course, our dear friend in somewhere in Scandinavian countries, Sander Hammerschlag. Thanks for dropping in. Did he make his request?
He's in the Netherlands, Gary, not in Scandinavia.
Yeah, one of those fucking Northern European countries.
It's not Northern.
It's like,
Northern. Jesus Christ.
if you're not catching my drift, I don't care. I'm just saying hi to him. Let that be. So I don't care. And I don't care. And on top of that, I really don't care.
Gary.
Yeah, are you going to say something I don't care? Sure, go ahead, buddy.
Do you care?
No, I don't. I want to get moving so I can end this show. Yeah, my general idea is like, okay, does this change anything monumental in my life? No, it has zero impact on my life. I fucking love that poster. I just don't know what it is because it is absolute chaos, that poster. But I like looking at that artwork. And what it reminds me of is Mad Magazine.
Yeah.
With the way they would do the montages or collages of artwork, the drawings on the back of the magazine. And sometimes you would fold it over and it would be a whole other image when you folded it into triple fold, trifold. I always love that. So, all right, we're going to get the fuck out of here. Sander, I care about you. I don't give a shit about what country you're from. I love you, man.
Wait.
You guys... Oh, I'm sorry. Am I supposed to say something about the beaver?
Oh.
I just thought maybe that's what you were going to stop me about.
No. Do it now.
Yeah. Oh, I clicked it to put it up, and you pulled it up, and I pulled it down. So there it is, guys. This episode is brought to you by Backdoor Beaver with real beaver anal gland butter. I will never fucking be able to say that. I will never fucking be able to say it without stumbling. I swear to God. And don't forget, this show is also brought to you by Keith's Glare. He is always judging you. Don't ever fucking forget it. And I'm going to tell you, it's why he doesn't do other shows anymore, because he judged you guys unworthy of his intelligence. And so he only does Thursdays. It's you guys. It's not me. It's not Martin. It's not Anima. It's you.
I have another video. Sander,
video.
There you go.
I've got 5 terrorists going southeast on Bakalakadaka Street.
Oh, wait. What's this? Dictionary gives Mach der nicht ins Hind as an equivalent of don't have a cow, man. I like that. Okay.
It makes more sense than the one with the cow because it just says don't piss your shirt.
Yeah, don't
that
piss
makes
your
thing with the cow.
Yeah. I like that. Okay. All right, we'll get out of here, guys. Everybody have a good day today. And all teasing aside, I love hanging out with you guys. So we'll see you later, man. Have a good Monday. I don't know if there's a show tomorrow because I haven't heard anything, but we will be back on Midfolk to do another episode. And we will be back again after that on Friday. I don't think Keith's going to do a show this week either. So it'll just be us Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So we'll see you guys later. Have a great day, and thanks for hanging out with us, man. Bye now.
Bye, everybody.
Y'all come back now. You hear?
Matt Damon.